Okay, so start from the beginning. This is going to be a little continuation of the story for the folklore, merfolk. Okay, so just start off by picturing, if you've ever seen the movie Titanic, how she stretches her wings, her arms at the very tip of the boat. Would that be the bow? Is at the front of the boat, stretches her arms out and pretends she's flying. Isis also had wings. If you can picture a little girl with like a set of wings, pretending that she knew how to fly, back to the boat. So now think of merfolk, okay? If they were to be captured, one of which was captured, and she was like a Melusine, so she had double the fins. Not one singular fin, but double the fins. If you think of like an X, if her arms were to be stretched out, right? An X. And then, so they capture her, and you can click off if you're squeamish or anything. They intertwine the two fins together, almost like a helix, if you think of that. And they nail her fins instead of feet to the bottom of the crossed wood, and then her arms were stretched out, and you know where I'm going with this, and her arms were stretched out, and she was either nailed or tied on either end for her arms. So if you could imagine, since you're from the sea, if you're a mer person, Melusine, then you're from the sea, so anything above the sea would be like you were flying. And this poor child, she's young, because an adult's body, you know, would only be able to take so much, but a child's weight can be held up. And you can imagine being stuck at the front of the boat, and you know, as the boat's sailing, you're exposed to the sun, so you're going to get dehydrated really quickly. And after a while, you know, if you lose any blood too much, it would make you dizzy and kind of in and out, and you could just imagine looking up, seeing the sun in front of you and the sky, and seeing a bird in front of you, maybe an eagle, maybe two, and just picture that you're like you're flying, you know, to kind of just zone out from it. And there was many different information downloads I was getting for this particular, we'll call it a story, a folklore, for whatever stems from it, but it's almost similar to the whole idea of the religion with the cross and everything like that. But I personally am not religious, not against anybody that is, but the whole idea that the X and Y chromosome. The X would be the double, the Melusine, and the Y would be the single, like a mer person. And had some other things come in about the whole idea of, sea crew. A sea crew after a while would be, I'll just put it this way, hungry. So there's quite possibility that that was something that happened, and that was carried down. The whole idea of cannibalism, the whole idea of the eating chicken wings or wings, thighs. This sounds really weird, I know, just bear with me here. And then I kind of flash back to if there was anything that happened to anybody five, V in reverse. Is actually a rune for strength, but it's also similar. Almost looks like either two fins, two legs, but V itself is 5, which I think symbolically is for change. A lot of this was really hard to try to explain. So there's so many different negative energies. Mind you, this is just a story, right? The possibilities of the energies that could have transpired and been carried down. Some of the shit that was coming to sight was pretty brutal. Yeah, having her arms held down. 2 people hold down the arms, and then her tail or fins, whatever you want to call it, being intertwined and then pegged down in the form of like a cross. But then the image of an anchor came in, and that was even more disturbing because that came with some other things. I don't know what came first, the anchor or the live bait. I don't know what makes sense. All I can see in front of me right now is I don't even see it. Nope. Well, it's a single. I don't know if that's a hawk, turkey vulture. Anyways, I'll get back to what I was saying. So, a lot of the holidays and stuff that we have, wherever they stem from, it goes far beyond our understanding, that's for sure. But as far as just this story, it's absolutely horrible. And there were a few other downloads that I got. Why I'm getting these, I'm not sure. Why I'm sharing this, I'm not sure. And then the whole idea of there being 12 or 13. I don't know where that comes in, but eagles, two birds are I think Zeus sent them, if I'm not mistaken. Or something similar like that, and how they symbolize, could be Jupiter. 1 and 3 is 4. And if you put 2 over 1, that's literally the 2, just slightly over the 1, that you can get the symbol that looks like a 4, which is actually Jupiter. And if you tilt that sideways, it's almost like, if you think of a stick figure, it's almost like a mer person. What else was there? The whole idea of Aphrodite. She's coming out of a clamshell. Picture of her in a clamshell. There's so many. I don't want this to go too long for a video. The whole idea of things that may have transpired which caused a whole heck of a lot of war, unnecessary wars. Because just because something terrible, so terrible happens, so treacherous, doesn't mean that anybody should seek revenge or hurt another person. Because an eye for eye leaves everybody fucking blind.